You feel it, a dull, growing pressure from within. It's not a thought, it's a physical sensation, a systemic hum of discord. It's as if the very fabric of your reality, once a comfortable fit, has become too dense, too tight. Every day is an effort. Every familiar action, once performed on autopilot, now demands a conscious expenditure of resources that you no longer have. Joy has become an abstract memory, a concept you understand intellectually but can no longer access. The future, once a landscape of possibility, has flattened into just the next step on scorched, barren earth. This is pain, but not the sharp, localized pain that signals a physical wound. This is the heavy, pervasive, atmospheric pain of existing in a form you have outgrown. It's the ache of a story that has reached its end, but the character is forced to keep living it. And the first and most critical piece of data to integrate is this: you are not broken. There is nothing wrong with you. What you are experiencing is not a personal failure, a defect in your character, or a punishment for past mistakes. It is the most natural, fundamental, and universal process. It is the sacred and often agonizing pressure of growth. Imagine a seed buried deep under a thick layer of asphalt. For years, perhaps decades, it lies dormant. It is safe, protected, and undisturbed, but within its tiny shell, it contains the complete, archived information of a future mighty tree, the blueprint for its trunk, branches, leaves, and the unimaginable strength required to reach for the sky. Then, a moment comes. A subtle shift in temperature, a change in the resonance of the earth. The accumulated inner force, the life potential, reaches a critical mass. The seed awakens. It does not strategize. It does not think, how can I possibly break through this impenetrable layer of asphalt? It doesn't create a vision board of the sky. It simply begins to execute its core programming. It begins to grow. Every quantum of its energy is directed to a single point, a single vector of becoming. And the asphalt, that symbol of rigid, man-made order, cracks. From the perspective of the asphalt, this is chaos, destruction, a system failure. But for the seed, it is the only possible path to the light. It is life asserting its primary directive. The suffocating pain you feel is precisely this. It is the pressure of your own inner potential, your own archived greatness, which can no longer remain dormant. It has awakened, and it is pushing against the asphalt of your life, your personality, your habits, your beliefs, your titles, your relationships. This is the asphalt. It is a strong, reliable, and complex structure. It is not your enemy. It is the very thing that once protected you, gave you a sense of identity, and helped you navigate the world. It served its purpose perfectly. But your core, your true essence, has quietly, inexorably, outgrown this protective shell. And now it presses from within, demanding release, demanding a sky it has never seen but knows is there. Or visualize a river. For 1,000 years, it has flowed in the same well-defined channel. Over centuries, it has carved a deep canyon, created a stable and predictable ecosystem. Everything that lives along its banks depends on its predictable course. This channel is your life, your career path, your social circles, your self-image. But something has shifted at the source. The spring that feeds the river has begun to pulse with a new, greater intensity. The volume of water is increasing. At first, it's barely noticeable. But soon, the water begins to rise. it starts to test the integrity of the banks, eroding them in small, almost invisible ways. It seeks out new paths, tiny fissures, and vulnerabilities. The river still flows for the most part within its old familiar channel, but it does so now with a palpable, unbearable tension. It is ready to forge a new course. It is a flood in slow motion. All of your recent attempts to feel better, to get a grip, to think positively, to work harder on yourself, to find a new routine, are futile attempts to reinforce the old banks. You are building dams out of affirmations, digging bypass channels with new meditation apps, trying to contain the rising water. But the source is relentless. The water only increases. You are trying to repair a structure that, by the very design of this grand unfolding process, is meant to be swept away. This is precisely why the moment comes when the pain of staying the same becomes utterly unbearable. It is not a sign of weakness. It is a systemic failsafe. It is the designated tipping point. It is the moment when the energy required to contain your own growth becomes so colossal, so draining, that the system itself chooses the terrifying path of transformation over the slow, certain death of self-suppression in an outdated form. So, stop your internal diagnostics. Stop searching for the flaw in your code. You are not the problem. You are the solution. A solution that has been maturing within you for so long that it is now, finally, ready to manifest. This pain is not your enemy. It is not a signal to retreat. It is the raw kinetic force of your own birth. It is the pressure that will, with absolute certainty, return you to yourself. So, you stand at this threshold, the boundary line between a world that is dying and a world that is not yet born. You feel this immense internal pressure to change, to move, to become. The logical, conditioned mind, the operator of the old system, immediately initiates its primary protocol: search. It scans its database for a map, a guide, an instruction manual for transformation. You turn to the vast external library of human experience. You pull books from the shelves of spiritual practices, self-help techniques, ancient wisdom traditions, and modern pop psychology. You commit to a new regimen. You try to meditate away the anxiety, believing that if you can just quiet your thoughts, the pressure will subside. You try to journal your way to clarity, filling pages with frantic analysis of your own pain. You attempt to affirm a new reality into existence, repeating mantras that feel hollow and foreign on your tongue. And for some, at certain stages, these tools work. They can patch a leak, reinforce a wall, provide temporary comfort. But for you now, they feel like empty rituals. The prescribed silence of meditation is just a vacuum in which your inner turmoil echoes even louder. The words in your journal seem to be written by a stranger, documenting the life of a character you no longer play. The affirmations, spoken into the mirror, bounce off your reflection, absorbed by nothing. Why? Why does nothing work anymore? The answer is simple, yet profoundly difficult for the mind to accept. You are trying to use tools from the old world to build a structure in a new one. You are standing on the shore of a new continent, holding a hammer and a saw from the boat you just left, while the physics of this new land require you to build with light and sound. These methods, meditation, journaling, affirmations, were designed to navigate and improve the old reality, the one you have so thoroughly and finally outgrown. They are excellent tools for renovating a house, but your task is not renovation. Your task is to witness the emergence of an entirely new landscape from within yourself. Think of it in terms of operating logic. Your old self, the identity that is now dissolving, operated on a simple, linear program. Cause and effect. If I do A, I will get B. If I work harder, I will be more successful. If I am a kind and good person, I will be loved and accepted. This was the stable, reliable, and predictable operating system. It served you well, but the new energy that is rising within you is not linear. It does not operate on cause and effect. It is quantum. It operates on principles of resonance, synchronicity, and radical interconnectedness. It does not respond to effort. It responds to your state of being. It doesn't follow a straight line from point A to point B. It expands spherically in all directions at once from the center of your awareness. This is why trying hard now makes things worse. Effort is a function of the old system. It adds more tension, more resistance. The new system is not activated by doing, but by unbecoming. And what about those strange coincidences you've been noticing? The moments of synchronicity, the recurring numbers on the clock, the specific word you hear from 3 different unrelated sources in a single day, the song that plays on the radio at the exact moment you have a critical thought. These are not cute mystical messages from an external universe that is trying to guide you. They are something far more significant. They are the initial pings of the new system coming online. They are echoes of a frequency you are beginning to tune into, not with your ears, but with your entire being. They are the new reality testing its connection with you, checking for a stable signal. They are the system's log files, showing you the new patterns that are emerging. Your deep frustration with the old methods is not a sign of your failure. It is a vital and encouraging sign of your progress. It is a clear indication that you are no longer compatible with them. The pain of their ineffectiveness is the system's direct feedback, telling you to stop trying to dial into an old, disconnected server. You have been granted access to a new network. The old passwords, the old user agreements, and the old protocols are now obsolete. Letting go of these familiar tools is terrifying. It feels like letting go of the only rope you have while hanging over a vast, unknown abyss. But this is the illusion. The truth is, you are not hanging. You are learning to fly. And the first non-negotiable rule of flight is that you must be willing to let go of the ground. This pain you feel is the friction between your old, deeply ingrained habit of clinging and your soul's new, undeniable impulse to soar. Technical moment. If this data resonates with your internal algorithm, press subscribe. This is a signal to the system that the information is valuable. So, you have arrived here. You've stopped trying to repair the old, crumbling reality. You've recognized that the pain is not a pathology, but a signal for a fundamental upgrade in your very architecture of being. The critical question echoes in the silence. What now? How do you initiate this quantum leap? How do you make the jump? The answer is the final, greatest, and most infuriating paradox of this entire process. You don't. You don't do anything. The entire paradigm of doing, of making it happen, belongs to the old operating system. That system was built on effort, control, and the illusion of a separate doer who could manipulate reality to its will. The new architecture, the one being born within you, is based on an entirely different set of principles: allowing, surrender, and pure, non-judgmental observation. The final and most difficult step of this journey is to release the need for a final step. Your mind, the loyal and tireless operator trained for a lifetime to solve problems, will not accept this. It will go into overdrive. It will scream for a plan, a strategy, a map. It will demand a 5-step guide to enlightenment, a 7-day challenge for spiritual transformation, a definitive list of action items. It will frantically search for a new guru, a new book, a new sacred word, a new technique that finally works. It will do absolutely anything to maintain the illusion that it is in control of this process, that it is the one driving the change. And your only task, your only true action, is to watch it do this, to watch it with a profound and gentle compassion, without judgment, without resistance. Watch the fear as it arises. Watch the waves of impatience. Watch the mind's desperate, frantic scramble for answers and certainty. Do not try to stop it. Do not try to calm it down. Do not engage it in an argument. Simply observe it as you would observe the weather. A storm may be raging with thunder and lightning, but you are not the storm. You are the vast, silent, and unchanging sky in which the storm is happening. The sky does not fight the storm. It simply allows it to be, knowing that it too shall pass. This is the true shift in consciousness. The shift from being a user of your reality to being its administrator. The user is constantly clicking buttons, running programs, tweaking settings, and trying to force outcomes based on a limited understanding of the system. The administrator holds the space. The administrator trusts the system's core design, knowing that it has built-in processes for self-correction, optimization, and evolution. The great transformation does not happen because you finally figure it out, or because you find the one magic key that unlocks the door. It happens in the moment you finally, truly, and completely let go of the need to figure it out. In that moment of pure, unconditional surrender, a quantum event occurs. You stop being the one who is experiencing the pressure, and you merge with the pressure itself. You stop being the one who is being transformed, and you become the transforming principle. The wave realizes it is the ocean, and then the pain disappears. Not because the problem has been solved, but because the you, the separate, isolated self who perceived it as a problem, has dissolved back into the whole. You integrate. You become one with the flow, the very force that was always pushing you, guiding you, and calling you back to yourself. This is not about downloading something new from the outside. It is about giving full, system-wide permission for the complete, authentic version of yourself, the one that has always been archived within your very essence, to finally install and run. You were never broken. You were just in the process of becoming. If this video has initiated an internal update process, write in the comments "system rebooting." Write it as a launch command. Nobody